Okay guys, we are back with another episode, and today we're gonna look at this orange Range Rover Classic that I have in front of me here, and we're gonna try to sell it. Or actually I have sort of sold it. So the plan is today to remount the fuel tank that I have laying here in the trunk. So we're gonna remount this one and connect all the hoses and the fuel pump and whatnot, so we can try to fire the car up, because the guy that has bought it is not going to be here to pick it up, so I need to sort of like get it to the trailer that is going to park outside here, and it's going to be quite tough if we're going to push it all the way there. So the plan is to remount the fuel tank, put in some diesel and try to get the car to run again, and it's been like 2 years this winter, so it can be quite tough, but let's see how it go. And yeah, I'm gonna find some bolts and stuff to start remounting the fuel tank. Yeah, so let's get the fuel tank out. Bolts. So when I dismount stuff, I always put them in small bags and write on the bag what they are for. Okay, there we go. The tank is mounted. I just had one of these bolts that I could use and also one of those in the front, but it's solid, as it not for driving long distance, but to make it start again. I think that's good enough. So I need to do some fine adjustment, but otherwise it's mounted. I need to sort of get that collar in place and the filler neck and so on, and also connect all the cables and so on, but for now it's mounted. So we have mounted the tank to the car. I'm just gonna watch out for my coffee cup. So now we're gonna try to like get all the hoses and everything in place. I noticed that the fuel return is, I just cut it off when I dismounted the tank previously, so that is not so good. So I need to figure out a way to get that fitting onto the hose that's coming from the engine, so we can get some return of the fuel. But let's take a look. So as you can see, we have the pump, the fuel pump or fuel sender mounted into the tank. We got that hose that's coming from the left over there in to the tank. So just need to attach it and secure it, and then we're gonna use these ones, connect them to the fuel sender and see if we can get some action going on. So we made some progress. The fuel tank is now mounted, the cables are connected, and also the breather hose underneath here is sort of connected. The filler neck is connected as well up here somewhere. The only thing that we got left is the return pipe, but since we're just gonna drive it for a couple of meters, I'm thinking maybe we don't need the return line. Of course it will drip some diesel on the ground, but I think that's have to be okay for now, since we're only gonna drive it a couple of meters. So the next step is to fill it up with some diesel and also attach a battery and see if we can get her going. I think this is a bit much, right? And we have a battery, so let's get the keys and let's see if we can get her to at least cough a little bit or just try to start. So let's see. could hear the fuel pump was trying to get some fuel to the system. Of course it can't get some fuel to the engine because we don't have any fuel in the tank. But it sounded and it was trying to crank. I think maybe the battery is a little bit weak. So we're gonna put it on charge and then pour some diesel in the tank and see if we can get some juice up here. Just disconnect the hose and see if we can get the diesel to the engine. Fired up! Okay, so I first did one battery and that was too weak, so I added another one, so that gave the engine that amount of juice that it needed to power up. So we got it going. It's like it's more than I did before. So as I said, it was a couple of years ago that I had this running. That's quite cool actually. But we got it going, so maybe we can move the car eventually. So we have a new thing to do on the Range Rover Classic that I'm gonna sell, and it is the clutch. So we have an issue with the car that the clutch isn't working at all. The pedal is just falling down to the ground. Nothing happened. And the issue is that I'm gonna sell this car, and the guy that is picking up, he is quite eager to get it out of here, and he have ordered a big transport that is gonna pick the car up, and to be able to get the car on the transport we need a working clutch. So yesterday I just tore the old clutch out, or the slave cylinder I should say, because the clutch is still the same, but the old slave cylinder is gone, it's out. So yeah, I tore the old slave cylinder out and found a new one actually that I have that was laying around. So I installed that. It was quite a big hustle to get it installed because the big engine that they put in this car is super big, and the oil filter is placed just in front of the slave cylinder. So that's a big issue, but eventually I got it in place. So let's take a look. As you can see down there, we got the slave cylinder mounted, and the blue thing there is the oil filter. And you can see it's very tight, but we got it mounted and it should be good to go. The problem is that I don't get any pressure in the system, so we need to reverse bleed the slave cylinder. Okay guys, so this is the one. It's actually for the brakes, so you can bleed the brakes, but it works just as good on the clutch. It's very basic construction. Mount this to the end of the handle here, the screw in. We need some tape so it gets sealed up, seal tape I think it's called. So it's sealed up properly, because now it isn't very tight, or air seal. And then you mount your air compressor to this one. You screw this one in, and then you just connect this one to the slave cylinder and the bleed nipple on the slave cylinder. So, and then you open it up, and then when you blow this one with the compressor attached, it will create a vacuum down here and will suck the brake fluid down through the system into this one. Very simple, and hopefully it will work as good. So when we do this, we need to make sure that the reservoir is full with brake fluid, and on this car it's a .3 that we're going to use. So that is full, and we have more here, so we can fill it up if that's needed. So now we're just actually gonna use this tool. I'm gonna press the trigger button here, and then it's gonna create a vacuum inside the tank here and suck the oil from here down through the system and into the tank. Let's see.
I noticed after a while that the bleeding nipple wasn't loose enough to let the fluid flow through, even though I used the vacuum system. And I also noted that I need to actually suck or use the compressor for a while before the fluid is coming through the system. So eventually I found out that I need to open up the bleeding nipple a bit more and kept the system open for a while to let the fluid flow through, and that eventually solved the problem. Unfortunately, my battery died on the camera just after this, and as you can see, I'm almost giving up here. But I solved the clutch issue, and now we are moving on to a couple of weeks later when the pickup is going to happen.
Good morning, guys. Today we're getting rid of another car. We're gonna ship one of my Range Rover Classics away, and I got a transporter waiting, and it's 6:30 in the morning, so he's been sleeping here overnight. So we're getting rid of this car. So I'm gonna open up the garage and just make sure I have everything prepared. The headlight also. I think I got the registrations in here. Yep, we do. That's good. I'm gonna take a photo of these. And the keys are there as well. The fenders. Okay, I just woke him up. He was sleeping in the car. That looked very, very cold. Just a small, I don't know, truck. He was sleeping with a blanket and everything. It looked very, very cold. So now we're just gonna wait a couple of minutes before he wakes up, and hopefully drive the trailer inside here. Let's cross our fingers that this will go easily and we can get rid of this car. Hopefully. This is not going very well. He doesn't have a lift with him, so we can't get the engine up on his truck. That is like 1 meter up in the air. So and this, I don't know, this engine probably weigh about, I don't know, 120 kilos, so that is very heavy. Maybe we can try to lift it together, but I'm not sure actually. So we'll see how we will do. So the clock is now around 7 a.m. We haven't loaded the truck up yet, and now the buyer, I told him 100 times that I can't lift this motor up. I don't have a lift or anything, so I don't know how to pick this 200 kilo engine up on his truck. but he neglected that, so now we are here. I'm saying I can't lift it up, so either you have to pick it up on your own later on, or I don't know. And he said, yeah, I don't know, I thought you had a solution for it, but I don't, so here we are. Maybe not load in the truck, or just load in the truck and don't pick the engine up, I don't know. So figure out, I don't know. To be continued. Missed the whole show, but we actually got the engine loaded up. So we used this ramps and then just push the pallet on with the engine. So now it's loaded in there. So now just the next part to get the Range Rover on the trailer. The battery is out, so I need to get a new battery just quickly. The car is now up on the trailer, and we had to work our asses off because, as I mentioned, the engine, we didn't have a lift, so we needed to push it on. I don't know if you could see that because the camera was maybe out of angle, but he had some metal ramps that we can put up, and then we just push the engine on to the truck. Oh, wait, there's a bumper on the roof. This one in the car.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I almost forgot the rear bumper was on the roof. That might have flown off if he was going on the highway. But yeah, now we're all done. One more car is sold and out of here. Bye bye, Rangy. Oh my lord. I thought it was gonna be a quick job, but it was not. Oh, it's hard with the language as well. I'm pretty good, decent at English. Not super, but I can speak and can make myself understood. But we're not good at English. He could say his words were okay, yes, no, super. That's it. So now it's leaving. Bye bye, car. Bye bye. That's the last time I will see that car. It doesn't feel too bad actually, because I haven't touched that car since I got it. I just got the engine running and so on, but Otherwise, it's just been standing. So maybe it's the best to just let it go to another place. You can't keep everything. So that feels super actually. So now we have 2 projects that are mine, and then we have also Hubbe, of course. And that feels very, very good. The Range Rover 1984, we got Hubbe, and we also got that 77. So 3 projects, and I'm not planning to sell these at the moment, so we just need to get to work. But now I need to get to work, my proper work, because I'm very late and I need to take care of some kids who need to go to daycare and so on. So I'll just leave this for now and then jump straight into work and get going with the day. And as always, subscribe, click like and leave a comment, and I will answer all of those. And yeah, see you in the next one. Ciao!